Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to the Fixie Geno tournament. I'm Mr. Link 2K, joined by Terrag2.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you. Hope you've all had a good intermission.
Right now, we are about to get underway with Vinta versus Aces. However, Vinta is currently having some technical difficulties, so we're just gonna be waiting a little bit. In the meantime,
Yeah, unfortunately, these things happen. The technology can be temperamental. It happens to everybody eventually. But I think this is going to be an interesting race. Vintagix was actually in the first match of the tournament where he lost to Ash Maikta with, I believe it was a 107. But that's not bad, especially because Vinta's only been playing Undertale for a few days. Uh, he's only played Genocide like a couple times, and that was for this tournament. And he has very good times, top five times in Deltarune where his opponent was arguably the best active Deltarune player right now. So you're not talking about a slouch here. He has a lot to offer, and he could pull off something interesting in this match.
oh yeah, definitely. This is a very good point. And I find it interesting as well that Aces, this is not his only race today. He has a race later today with Ash Maikta. So, two races for him today. I wonder if that's going to, change anything.
Yeah, he has to consider that he has two races to prepare for. He might be pacing himself accordingly. I wonder if he'll think it's worth dropping one or, holding back on one a little so that he can give the other one his all.
Yeah,
Because we're in a group stage. It's not single elimination. You can rob Peter to pay Paul.
that is true.
He's also got some pretty good Deltarune times himself, including top four times in some of the major categories. As we were talking about earlier with Enhar, almost all the runners racing today have primary experience with Deltarune, and Undertale is their secondary game. So the skills don't transfer over quite perfectly. The games are pretty different mechanically, but I think it'll be interesting to see how they all adjust.
Oh, for sure.
What do
Yeah.
you think? Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, I wasn't going to say anything too big. Go ahead.
I was asking with your greater experience, what you think of these two runners and what they might bring to this match, if you're familiar with either of them at all.
I'm not too familiar with either of them, but what I've seen of Vinta this tournament, for the little amount that he's ran, he is definitely very knowledgeable on Jenna, which is the main part to saving time.
Yeah, it mostly comes down to game knowledge and to like knowledge of very subtle little tricks. And it actually only took him a couple days to beat the time of runners like Wolfle D, who had been running for months or even years. He's somebody who has a good aptitude for this. And I think if he's given long enough, he could become someone who can challenge the top runners.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Hopefully, he can get over those technical issues and we can get OBS behaving for him or figure out a workaround because we can always postpone the match, but that would definitely be a shame. I was very much looking forward to seeing what he and 30 Aces can do.
Yeah, that's true. It is unfortunate, but if worse comes to worse, we'll just reschedule the race for another day.
Yeah, of course. Uh, to fill some airtime while we wait for that, how about we hear some reflections on your last match? With the benefit of hindsight, how are you feeling about your performance?
I feel pretty good. I got a low 104. It could have been a 103 if I didn't mess up core, but core is hard. Can't be
Yeah,
too upset.
Yeah, Core's a big run killer, even for the best runners. I mean, if a run doesn't die in ruins, it dies in Core.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Snowden and Waterfall, it does have RNG, but very little compared to runes and core.
Yeah, and in both of those, you can get around it pretty quickly with some pretty optimal patterns, but maybe I'm just not used to it enough. But Core, it kind of seems like if you don't get the exact right encounters, you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a lot of night magics, I mean, it's savable if you're good at quads, but for most you're gonna usually whiff a few on night magics unless you're like at the very top of the runners. Even then, it's still very easy to whiff one quad.
Yeah, quads are really hard. They don't look it when you're watching someone like yourself or Shay who's really, really good at them, but that is not easy. That is frame perfect. It's happening within fractions of a second of each other, and you have to do it multiple times all at once.
Yeah, that is true. Definitely one of the hardest parts of a Geno run is just the quads.
Yeah, and we actually saw how players with a broad base of experience aren't as well equipped as those who were specialized in this category in our last match, where Butters beat his opponent pretty handily. Marty, where was I going with this? That it's just not as easy as it looks. And in Genocide, there are only a couple skips and only one of any real significance time wise. It all comes down to how well you know the mechanics and how good you are at executing them. Pun somewhat intended.
Alright, I've got word that Vinta is live, so I'm going to quickly switch to intermission again to get this stream cropped up, and then we'll be right back.
Heck yeah. Chad, can we have a hand for Vinta? He was being a really good sport about these technical problems. Let's hear it for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright, well, we'll be right back, and then we'll get on with the race. Sorry. Alright, we are back, propped up, ready to go.
Welcome back, everybody. I don't think loading a save is an acceptable strategy. Wow, Vintage moving. What the heck happened there?
Just taking some time to get a little bit of practice in.
Yeah, I was just alarmed by Frisk rocketing across the screen like that. Whew.
Debug Race, the new tournament by Willie J. Willie J. Alright, both runners are ready to go. We're gonna give a countdown now. And then they should be underway pretty shortly. Alright, here we go.
And they're off.
Get them synced up here. There we go.
Vinta with the early lead coming into Flowey's room. Of course, they both want to be in that topmost corner because that's the first bullet that can hit you.
Yep. Beginning of this run is always going to be the same. Nothing in, like, too much skill at the start. Just some mashing.
Yeah, it's a good way to get an early lead if you're slightly better at movement and cornering, but there's not a whole lot you can do to get significantly ahead unless something really weird happens.
Yeah, and we see aces take the lead because actually in that corner there you want to be holding down left. That makes you run into the bullets a little bit faster. I guess Vinta does not know that, so aces just took a little bit of a time save from that.
See, that's where what I was talking about with category-specific experience comes into play. There are all these little subtleties that veterans of the game know that someone just coming in isn't necessarily going to be aware of. And even if they do know the tricks, like from watching other runners, there's knowing it in theory and actually being able to put it into practice.
Yeah, that's very true.
Vinta does have the lead back, though, so I can tell this is going to change hands a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's close race, obviously very early, but
Yeah, anything can happen here, but this is reminding me of the Silver Grender race last night. That was very, very exciting, and they were constantly changing leads until finally a whiff cost Grender the race.
yeah, that was a great race. Really neck and neck throughout the entire one. That was probably the closest race we've seen so far.
Yeah, I have a good feeling about this one because we can see some of the same patterns with both of them gaining slight leads in each room pretty much. It's changing hands constantly here. I think we'll start seeing one pull ahead towards the end of Ruins, but so far it's pretty interesting.
Yep. Going into the fun stuff now, I suppose. It's gonna be starting off with a Frogget.
You know, I've said it before, and it's not really pertinent to the race, but I love how that very first Frogget, you just kill that thing right in front of Toriel, and she doesn't say a word about it.
So this is where knowledge of Geno is gonna start making a difference here, especially on the Froggets, where the runners are gonna want to have the shortest attacks possible. For Froggets, the best thing you want to do is a center attack in the beginning, and then depending on what you roll, you want to go usually in the red instead of yellow.
Yeah, and we saw a good quick kill from Vinta there, and he did know to go for Frog Skip. And here's another bit of game knowledge that comes in. You don't even need to hit Whimsun at all. You can just mash immediately because it just dies as soon as you attack.
Yeah, Whimsun is always going to be a one-hit kill. So if these runners would be going for PB attempts, they'd be hoping for Whimsuns. However, this isn't really a PB attempt. They're both going to be getting the same RNG.
Alrighty, sorry for going quiet for a second there. I had to put my attention on something. We're good now.
All good. Looking like a pretty average runes so far, maybe a little bit below average.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more Froggets here than I would like, but I mean, no one's gonna get all Whimsuns.
Yeah.
I guess you could say you win some, you lose some.
That's true.
Oh, 30 Ace is whipping a little on that Frogget.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a little greedy with just like hoping for a Whimsun and like instantly attacking. I'm a victim to that myself, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think that's a thing where your brain is moving faster than your hands are and faster than your eyes can take in information. Especially once you've committed certain behaviors to muscle memory, you're just going as soon as you see the signal, and you might not be looking before you leap. Especially in a speed run where, you know, fractions of seconds make a huge difference and you might not be willing to give yourself enough time.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, Vinta did good with the rock there. Let's see if 30 Aces does well. Yep. We saw a couple people miss that rock, so I was a little concerned for a second.
It's not too bad in Geno run if you miss that, actually, because you will still be incrementing the step count. So you're not going to really be losing a lot from it compared
because
to...
all that really matters is you have enough steps. That's true.
Yeah, you just gotta... A lot of the time it's just waiting at the end of the room for the encounter.
Could you, in theory, just grind in that room, or would you be losing too much time?
Like for the entire first half of Ruins?
Yeah, or, you just stay there for a while grinding encounters as opposed to doing it in this room that they're in now.
You could, but then you'd only be getting singles for the entirety of Ruins. When we go here, we start to get doubles and triples.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that it depended on what room you're in. That does make some sense.
Still always the possibility of a single mold small, just like this one right here.
Oh boy, Mold Small, ruiner of runs.
However, oh, sorry.
I have seen so many resets to a poorly timed single Mold Small.
Oh yeah, definitely at 18 it's the worst, but so far this is looking pretty good. I believe this will put them at 18, so as long as they don't get a single mold small for their final encounter, it's looking to be a pretty okay Ruins.
Either way, they're looking at probably a sub 10 Ruins or maybe slightly over 10. I don't think it's going to be bad at all.
Yeah, just barely missing the sub 10 mark it looks like if this encounter is good. And it's gonna be a Frog at Whimsun, yeah, very good second half.
Yeah, that is very fortunate. I'm noticing Vinta is getting encounters slightly faster than 30. He might be doing something interesting with the step counter.
I think it's just that Vinta has a little bit of a lead.
Okay, yeah, that's possible.
Because I believe the step count is fixed.
Yeah, and he's done now. He's heading towards the end of Ruins. That's a decent lead to have on 30 Aces at this early point, but it could still change hands.
Yeah, about a 10-second lead so far. Nothing too crazy, still anyone's game.
Yeah, especially because here in this second part of Ruins, there's kind of only one way it can go. There's no way for things to really get screwy on you. I mean, I guess you could somehow mess up killing Toriel, but I don't see how you could do it.
Yeah, you're not really gonna see a ton of major mistakes in Ruins. Most time losses in Ruins are really just gonna be bad RNG in like PB attempts.
I could see some trouble moving, like players getting stuck on corners, but that's a second here and a second there. That pays off later in the run, but not here in Ruins.
Oh yeah, see for example, right there, Ace is taking an interesting approach to that button. Instead of going above it to have a better line, he interacted with it at the bottom, so he kind of had to like move around it a little bit.
Yeah, that looks faster, but having to work around the pillar actually slows you down, as we can see from the fact that Vint is a good way into home now. That's some good mashing from Vinta. He's got to make sure to take care of his hands, though, because this can be pretty tough. It's not like Deltarune where you just hold down a button.
Yeah, mashing could definitely be decently tough on the hands, especially if you random mash. Piano mashing is interesting, though, where you don't have to mash incredibly fast, but you still gotta be a little bit careful. Make sure you do some stretches.
Yeah, I'm actually a little worried about 30 Aces for that because he's running 2 races today. So he's going to want to make sure he has a good chance to take a break. Maybe wash his hands in hot water or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Wiffle D wants to know how the race is going. Vintagix is slightly in the lead, having finished off Toriel, while 30 Aces has just landed the killing blow.
Yeah, and then they're going to be going into Snowden, where we'll be seeing some more, Snowden's going to be a little bit more interesting than Ruins.
What would you say is worth keeping an eye on in Snowden?
Snowden, the most important part in Snowden, it is a lot of mashing, but more than that, it's really just like you're menuing on triples and knowing when to attack. Because I've been seeing a lot of runners in this tournament going doing way too hard attacks on Childrake. Because really, you only need to go into the red once you are at level 8.
Yeah, I think casually you kind of get trained to always go for the critical, but that actually takes up time, and those few extra seconds add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, all time in a speedrun will be adding up, so gotta make sure to save as much time as possible. Especially in a run like this, where it has a lot of skill, but not as much as something like neutral, for example.
Yeah, neutral is extremely technical with the glitches and stuff, but there's only one or two skips. There's SGS and EBP in Genocide. Most of it is just down to executing the vanilla mechanics. And even then, SGS is a 30-second skip is pretty good, but that's nothing compared to the shenanigans you can do with Punch Card.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot easier to make major mistakes in a neutral run. So with Geno, you want to pull ahead as early and by as much as possible.
Yeah, of course, something that can always go wrong. In the last match we just saw, we saw a couple times where the runners almost died to various bosses. So something like that can always happen if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, I mean Geno is known to have some of the toughest boss fights.
Yeah, I was saying yesterday when I commentated that casually I never beat Undyne the Undying. So I really respect how these runners make her look almost easy.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a tough fight. I feel like in a speedrun, Undyne is harder than Sans because you have to be accurate with attacks, whereas Sans, you just kind of mash through it.
Yeah, and also Sans gives you a break about halfway through where you can heal if you need to and stuff. Undyne's just coming at you the whole time.
Yeah, that is true.
I also feel like if you can get by with just sheer memorization with Sans, you don't really have as good a chance with Undyne because some of her attacks feel a little more complex.
Yeah, Undyne's attacks are definitely easy to get hit by.
Yeah, the one that was giving people a really hard time was the Circle of Spears in the last race.
Yeah, that is in my opinion the toughest attack.
We saw something interesting there. 30 Aces is not going for hitting the sword, while Vintagix is. Do you think there's a trade-off there?
Well, Aces is not gonna really lose HP from that. However, going right as soon as possible does save a little bit of time. So Vinta did just save.
Last race.
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, I know last race neither of them went for that, so it's interesting to see people's approach.
Yeah, it's not like a crazy time save, but again, all time save counts.
Yeah, Vinta is maintaining the lead, but it's getting shorter. Like, 30 Aces is visibly catching up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely anyone's race.
Not quite as much because for a second there I thought they were in the same room, but they are closing in. Alright, 30 Aces is about to get that triple. Let's see how well Vinta can menu to maintain his lead. All right, good. We've seen at least one runner get a few hits on Jerry there, so that's a bit of a time loss you really don't need at this point.
Yeah, the accidental Jerry hits are rough. Going into dog merge now, we've also seen some struggles with this in the tournament.
Yeah, we've seen at least one runner go after Dogami and have to readjust. That can really cost you some time, especially because Dogami becomes an easy kill if you kill Dogaressa, but Dogaressa goes berserk if you kill Dogami, and is actually a harder fight.
Yeah, Vinta now down to Dogami and is not gonna whiff.
Yeah, 30 Aces is having a bit of a hard time. Dogaressa's not dead yet. There we go. All right, going through the pre-solved puzzles now. That was always a little neat touch, I thought, when it was casually going in.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, what happens if you miss menu and spare lesser dog? I would assume that ends Genocide, doesn't it? That
It
would set a
does not abort Geno, at least not with lesser dog. You will just like lose out on a kill and have to kill again. However, if you do spare greater dog or dog marriage, any of the dog mini bosses, for example, that will abort Jenna because these kills actually don't add to the kill count, but you need to kill them or else it will abort Jenna.
I see, because they're plot enemies. They're not just random encounters, whereas Lesser Doggo is. Lesser Dog.
Is lesser dog required? I'm not too sure about that.
I have never seen someone not kill Lesser Dog, so I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Oh, lesser dog is required. Okay. So I stand corrected then. Yeah, I mean, you do not want to miss menu in Snowden.
Yeah, I imagine that's something that happens to runners a lot early on because they are mashing through so fast that they're not really looking at what they're clicking on. I would be surprised if miss menus don't happen more often.
Alright, getting into the grind now. Not too much time to be saved or lost, especially on doubles.
Yeah, there's a question of whether you crossed a bridge or not, but that's pretty much it for the moment.
However, Aces is going to be losing some time. As you can see, we're going to watch Vinta's screen here. Vinta kind of comes down, so he's closer to the transition when he gets the encounter. Aces is not doing that, so that's going to lose him some time.
Yeah, I wonder why Aces is doing that. Maybe it's just one of those counterintuitive tricks, because he's just thinking about running up the step counter. Also, did I missee that, or did he just spare a triple? I probably just missed.
I think he just spared Jerry.
Yeah, I probably just blinked and missed something. Never mind. It looked weird for a second. Yeah, Wuffle D is saying Snowdrake and Lesser Dog are the only actual random encounters you have to kill. That's kind of interesting. I guess I would have assumed that you have to kill every single one. But then you never see a runner hunt down Giftron, so makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that those were required until now.
This is always a little interesting because Jerry doesn't do anything, but he has a lot of HP and he makes enemy attacks longer, so he's kind of a time sink no matter what you do with him. And Vinta is choosing to move across the bridge, avoiding that music transition trigger.
Yep, saving just a little bit of time, 10 frames per transition that you do over here, but it's a relatively easy time save.
Yeah, and those 10 frames, you know, getting rid of them doesn't kill you. Might as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If the time save is easy, you might as well do it.
Yeah, especially because you need to increment the steps anyway, so anytime you would theoretically lose to crossing the bridge in the first place, you were going to lose anyway because you needed to get up to that encounter.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna get an encounter as you're crossing the bridge or anything. You're always gonna get the encounter on time. Okay, this is interesting. Aces is not going back to the right, and since Vinta came back, I believe they're on 13. He's not gonna get punished for it since the encounter was a double, but if that was a triple, he'd definitely be losing some time.
Yeah, I wonder what his reasoning is, or is it possible that he's just lost track?
He may have miscounted, but he should be coming over now. He actually saved time from that over Vinta, but that is not something you want to rely on.
Yeah, especially because in the heat of a speedrun where you're just focusing on going as fast as possible, I would imagine it's easy to lose count, especially if you don't have your live spit right there telling you.
They're gonna get another double on 14, another bad Snowden.
Yeah, this Snowden is not great.
Yeah, ideally you want to get a triple on 13. They did not, so they got a double on 13, which puts them at 14. Then you want to get a triple at 14, if possible, so you don't have to kill Jerry. But they got yet another, so now they have to kill Jerry and just slow.
I've heard mixed reports on if you should kill Jerry optimally or not. What do you think?
It depends. If you get a triple on 13, you want to kill Jerry because that's going to be way faster than waiting for another encounter. However, any other time, like if you're at 14 kills, you're going to want a triple so you don't have to kill Jerry.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially because Jerry has so much HP. Vintagix about to kill Papyrus now, while 30 Aces is closing in on the boss fight. This won't matter too much because the cutscene takes so long, but this is slightly closer now because of how long Papyrus will take to kill. He just takes forever to die.
He takes a very long time, that is true. Going into Waterfall now, though, we're going to be seeing the first of two major glitches in this run. We're going to be seeing Seagrass skip.
Yeah, and that is a 30-second or so time save, so missing it would hurt.
Yeah, missing it could see a lead change. If Vinta misses it and Aces gets it.
Yeah, I personally, my money's on him making it. I think he made it the last race, and it is a tricky skip, but he knows what he's doing. This is a good speedrunner.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both of these runners are very good at the game. Let's see how Vinta does doing the Shay setup. I'm gonna be getting it.
You get it? He got it!
Let's see if Aces can match it. Yeah, Ace is gonna be getting it.
All right, good job, both of you. Yeah, that looks like a really tough skip. That looks like it's frame perfect.
Actually, it's one of the only skips in the game that is not frame perfect. You actually have 4 frames for that one, I want to say.
Oh, wow. In casual terms, that's not a lot, but for a speedrun, that's huge.
Yeah, way easier than, way more lenient than a lot of the other skips.
Yeah, if you can consistently punch card or something, you can consistently SGS. Ash Mikta thinks it's 6 frames.
I want to say it's either 4 or 5. I don't remember which one.
Washa was being a bit of a pain. Let's see how this Spears 1 goes for Vinta. You can lose some time here, either getting caught by the Spears or getting hung up on these corners. It's not too hard, but it is a bit precarious. There's a lot of things that can go wrong here and lose you a couple seconds.
That's true. And I also just want to point out Vinta's music mod here. It's very awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back in the VOD and see that. I can't actually hear the game audio, but...
Yeah. Unfortunately, with OBS, can't share the game audio with it.
Yeah, 30 Aces is closing in on the end of Spears 1 too. He's having a good one. Neither of them are having a bad waterfall so far. They both have pretty good command of movement and stuff. This is probably going to come down to how many whiffs they get and specific encounters like Undyne and Sands. Maybe Core.
Yeah, definitely. These runners are very close, so I mean, like, just like one or two whiffs can change anything here.
Yeah, unless something really weird happens, like one of them gets killed in a boss fight.
Yeah, that would not be ideal.
All right. Vinta's closing in on what I believe is the first RNG section of the level.
This encounter will always be the same. The next one is the first RNG encounter of Waterfall. Yeah, this one's always a double mold.
Well, that's why I'm glad I have the best Undertale player active co-commentating with me. He can catch when I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's all good, it's all good.
I'm learning as I work. That's pretty cool.
So this is going to be the RNG encounter for Vinta coming up now. And it's going to be a single Washua. This is the best encounter you could get if the rest of the RNG is perfect.
Yeah, I know that you can also get Aaron there, and that is not desirable.
Yeah, single Aaron is the worst you could get. Ideally,
is it just
there.
Down to how long you
sorry.
think
Yeah, Aaron takes 2 turns to kill. So, oh my gosh, Ace is gonna be whiffing by 1 HP on the Washua though. So that is gonna be a 2-turn.
That's good. That's gotta hurt. When you're at that level, you know when you mess up, and you know what it's gonna cost you. So that's gonna be on his mind.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't bother him too much for the rest of this race, but that is unfortunate.
Yeah, he's not that far behind. He's about to catch up with Shiren, and then it's not too far from where Vintagix is, but we are starting to see the lead increase.
Yeah, that whiff is gonna give Vinta a little bit of a bigger lead now. A little bit more comfy. Still not able to get completely comfy though, just yet.
And I think this shows you just how good a runner Ash Mikta is, because Vintagix is doing very, very well in this race, and at no point did he have the lead over Ash Mikta, so losing to him is nothing to be ashamed of. That is a really strong opponent that he had first.
Yeah, Ash is really good. I believe he is the first seed in his group.
I would not be surprised, especially because he's to Deltarune kind of what you are to Undertale.
Oh yeah, Ash is nuts at Deltarune.
Yeah, and I was just talking with Enhar about how that doesn't transfer over particularly well, but it still makes you very, very good at a game that doesn't work too differently from this one.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely helps a little bit, especially in terms of menuing.
Yeah, menuing, movement, and maybe the basic battle mechanics like moving the soul.
Yeah, for sure.
Vince is having a bit of a tough time with Spears too. Let's see how well he adjusts, because some of these patterns are getting a bit obnoxious.
Looking pretty good though.
Yeah, he's about to end Spears 2 just as 30 Aces starts it. That's a pretty good lead.
Yeah, it's about I don't know how much. I could do a time check here. But Spears 2 is giving Aces some trouble.
Jack 3 says Deltarune is a lot different and movement is much harder, which I think makes sense. If you're used to the harder movement, 30 Aces gets hit. If you're used to the harder movement from Deltarune and the more technical fighting, Undertale's going to be a bit of a breath of fresh air. That's going to be much easier. even if it does give you some odd habits, like I was telling Enhar that whenever I play Undertale after Deltarune, I catch myself trying to graze bullets.
Oh yeah. Looks like about 45 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, between the
Oh
runners
wow,
now.
that's a pretty big lead.
Yeah, Ace has had a good amount of trouble in Spears too. If you mess up once, it could just easily go downhill from there, especially in Spears too.
I hope that doesn't get to him too much because you can't underestimate the mental game. If someone gets psyched out and too wound up and is overthinking everything, they're not going to be able to get back on track.
Yeah, definitely. Vinta not gonna be whiffing on that dummy, even though he just mashed it very fast.
Yeah, that could have gone very badly. I think Vinta got a bit lucky there.
Yeah, it's not as bad as whiffing on a Temmie though, so uh, if he doesn't do this, he's fine. Yeah, he's gonna be waiting a little bit just to be safe.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know that he's ahead, but it's good to act as if you are in some things, like play a bit conservatively so that you don't lose time to like minor things.
Yeah, I
Does that
mean,
make sense?
a good example of it is the race yesterday with Silver and Grender. Once Grender started getting behind, he started to try to save as much time as possible, which led to losing even more time.
Yeah, and if you go too hard on trying to do everything fast, you are going to lose time like that. You are going to make mistakes. You're going to be rushing too much to see certain suboptimal paths, and it just makes things get wider, as you were just saying. KJ makes an interesting point. He says it's hard to compare Tail and Rune because one gets its difficulty from movement and battles, the other from execution of glitches and tricks.
Yeah,
How
that's
much do you
very
agree with
true.
that?
That's very true. As I have a little bit of experience in Deltarune as well, not as much as an Undertale, but I completely agree with that. They're completely different in terms of gameplay.
I will say that with a couple exceptions like Undyne and Sans, casually, Undertale is much easier than Deltarune. Like, when I first played Deltarune Chapter 2, I was getting my butt kicked, even though I never really have trouble with Undertale's combat.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe it's just because like we're so used to Undertale, but meanwhile, it looks like Ace is whiffed on the Washwa, which is not ideal.
Yeah, he doesn't get the triple on Aaron either. This could add up.
I
Plus, Aaron
no.
is. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so this is ideally the last encounter for Vinta, as long as it's not a Temmie. But it's gonna be a Temmie! You gotta love Undertale.
It's just not Undertale if it doesn't mess with you with its RNG. 30 Aces has to be a bit careful here too. I'm sure most Undertale players can navigate this maze with their eyes closed, but it can still trip you up.
Vinta getting another Temmie though. That Temmie was an optimal one.
Yeah, of course, that means 30 Aces is going to get those Temmies too, so it becomes a bit questionable how much it helps. But Vinta will also be coming up on Undying the Undying soon, so he's well ahead.
Oh my gosh, Ace is getting a 3-turn Aaron. Here it is again, trying to mash to save just fractions of a second and ending up losing more time than it would save.
Yeah, this is looking bad for 30 Aces. I think he needs to take a breath, maybe take a sip of water or something, and focus on some of the fundamentals because he's trying too hard at this point, and I think he's flailing a little.
This is interesting because we know Aces is going to get a Temmie, so grinding in this room isn't bad, but he's at 16. Normally you would just move through the room. I don't know if he's watching the stream and knows that it's going to be a Temmie, but
I would hope not, because surely that would be pretty distracting.
because yeah, that is normally not what you'd want to do. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but we're just gonna roll with it, chat. Alright.
I mean, I would personally consider that kind of cheating, but it also probably wouldn't help you very much because switching your focus from the stream to the game would distract you a lot, and you'd probably play worse, not better. And like, even if he were watching, he's losing. It's not helping him.
Yeah, I mean, it really only like he's behind by a lot, you know. It's not gonna really like make a huge difference in this race, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, 30 Aces isn't even in the right room yet, and Vintagix is already starting Undertale Neo. That time I did it on purpose. I've said this basically every time a race I've commentated on goes to Undyne, but I respect these speedrunners a lot because this fight is very hard casually, and it is not anywhere near as simple as these players make it look. Or maybe it is simple, but even simple things are still difficult sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
There's just so much to keep track of all at once, and when you're actually playing, this stuff's moving a lot faster than it looks like on a screen with latency.
Vinta not getting many gold hits here, though. Probably not going to be getting this quick kill, which gives Aces a little bit of time to save.
Yeah, this will come down to how well they are at critting. I'm not sure that 30 Aces is significantly better. He's been whipping a lot, but he might be able to pull something off here.
I think Vinta still might be able to get quick kill if he lands a lot of these triples.
Yeah, and if he can keep away from those circles of spears, that's a pretty annoying attack that Undyne has. When you're fighting Undyne the Undying, what do you have in mind as a runner? What are you thinking you need to do? Is it really just about critting as well as possible?
Yeah, for me it's just like, don't miss quick kill.
I just figured it would be interesting seeing your insight on this, but Vintagix is having a really good Undyne. I think that's about to do it. No,
that's gonna be just short of quick kill. Yeah, that's gonna give Aces a chance to save some time. Nothing lead changing.
Yeah, Aces is whipping a bit, but not too bad. It's theoretically possible that Vinta has like a horrible coral or messes up with sands, but his lead is getting more and more comfortable by the second.
Yeah, and looking at Ace's triples, I don't know if he's really going to be able to get quick kill and capitalize on Vinta's mistake there.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to manage it. Oh wow, he's taking damage.
Oh yeah, that's not good. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, if he ends up dropping this, if he gets killed by Undyne, that's a race right there.
Oh yeah. You really can't come back from that.
Yeah, at that point, you're multiple minutes behind. Does he have any healing items? He might want to burn a turn on healing.
No, I don't think he has any heals.
Come on, Aces, you can do it. Just focus. You've done this before. Come on, just concentrate. I usually don't take sides on races, but I would hate to see this one end because he drops the fight to Undyne.
Yeah, you never want to see an unfortunate end to a race.
He's about to get it, though. If he can get through this turn, that's the fight. At this point, I would probably... Oh, no!
Oh, wow.
30 Aces with the Undyne death. I mean, there is no coming back from that, but he might as well keep playing, I think. We might as well see if he can recover from this. The race is over, but he can really still play this.
Yeah, Vinta gonna miss early pan, but it's really not gonna matter.
Like, This is literally multiple minutes for 30 aces, and this is the first Undying Death we've seen. That's gotta sting. He knows what this has cost him.
Yeah, that was the last turn too.
Yeah, he was
Absolutely.
one turn off. I gotta respect him that he's still playing. If that had happened to me, I probably would have just quit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're gonna need to see. Aces is gonna need Vinta to die on sands at this point.
Yeah, that would be kind of delicious if that's what plays out somehow. But Vint is really good at this game. I don't think that's going to happen. But who knows? Maybe he nails early burnt pan, has an incredible core, and then does sands way better than Vinta can. I doubt it, but theoretically it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's never really over until the end of sands, but it is not looking good for aces right now.
Yeah, he's already taking damage again, so that's not going to kill him, but it is looking rough. But it goes to show you too, like what I was saying, like these speedrunners make these fights look so easy, but you can get messed up badly if you make any mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. All it takes is one miss input, and then you could just be completely thrown off.
Yeah, the best he can really hope for here is a moral victory. He got back up, he got on the horse again, and he finished it out. But, you know, that's kind of what these games are about. Determination, right?
Yeah, I mean that's that's the entire thing of Undertale. That's very true.
Doing a better job dodging the spears this time. Maybe he got over whatever was tripping him up in the last fight. That was a really good inverted spears right there. I don't know what to call the yellow ones, but it's a good name. Yeah, and KJ Endurance saying he doesn't even want to, they don't even want to think about how tense it must be to be on world record pace going into the Sands fight. Like, you've been there. How does that feel?
It's not that bad in my opinion because I'm pretty confident in my sands. However, if I haven't practiced sands in a long time, it can be pretty scary.
And it looks like 30 Aces is about to avenge himself as Vinta goes into Muppet.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Yeah, he would have to pull out some fantastical stuff to recover from this, but it's good to see that he got back up and won the fight his second time around.
Yeah, Vinta's gonna be about four and a half minutes ahead.
Which I think is the biggest lead we've seen in the entire tournament so far.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be what a death gives you. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just hope that 30 Aces isn't too rattled by that because, like, we all know what that costs. He's got to know that he's not winning this race now. He's just finishing it on grit.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Aces is gonna need to rely on Vinta making a incredibly devastating mistake.
Yeah, and as Ash points out, he's racing again later today. If I'm 30 Aces, I know I've lost this race, so I maybe take it a little easy. I don't stop running, but I save my energy to do better on the next one.
Yeah, just take a little break and try to not let it get to your head.
Yeah, this is definitely a good performance from Vinta. Like, this is really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's really vindicating himself in the face of his loss in the first match.
Yeah, I mean, he's been performing really well this race.
They also both miss EBP. That's interesting. Alright, I believe Vinta is still on the scripted core encounter, so we'll see how well core is going to treat our runners.
Yep, still on the scripted ones. After the first Night Magic is when it begins to vary. Which I believe is after this encounter.
Yeah, that sounds about right. sometimes when I'm just watching streams, because I haven't actually run this category myself, it's hard to keep track. But it looks about right.
Yeah, it's interesting to like watch these runs without a kill counter.
Yeah, I think you come to rely on it a bit. Like, when you see the streamer's kill count automatically update, you kind of just check the number. You don't look at what's going on in the game.
Yeah. Vinta gonna be missing that quad.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I'd say it was a tough miss, but pretty much doesn't matter what Vinta does at this point. Unless he somehow dies against Sands.
Yeah, it's not gonna make a big dent in the time.
I feel a little bad that when they rewatch this VOD, they're going to hear us commenting on this, but we kind of do have to shoot straight here.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it happens, you know?
Yeah, and I respect that 30 Aces is back on the horse and getting through it, and he's doing better than he was playing before, so I'm not here to just rag on him. Does that little stuttering step 30 Aces is doing make you move any faster? Do you know what I'm talking about?
It doesn't make you move faster.
Is there a reason to do that? Does it make the encounter count go up, or is he just kind of showing off?
Nah, it's just bonus.
Alright, he's about to get to Muffet. Now, that is nowhere near catching up, but...
A lot of Night Magics, actually, so far.
Oh yeah, this is a very Night Magic heavy core. I think Aces is going to be unpleasantly surprised when he catches up here.
Currently got 2 non-scripted ones, and we've just been getting started in this core.
Yeah, that's probably not going to mean a very good core, but hopefully it's not as bad as last one when there were like 7. Alright, not whiffing on Muffet. Ooh, Final Frog and Astigmatism. Is that a good one to get?
It's not bad. If you're gonna get a double, these are the doubles you're gonna want to get. You don't want Night Magics, of course.
Yeah, Whimsalot would probably be better to get because it dies much faster, but at least it's not Night Magic.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter what double you get as long as you kill them in one turn.
Yeah, this is definitely the skill check room. This comes down to how good are you at quads. And I will say, of the two, Vinta seems much better at quads. He's doing pretty good in this core.
Yeah, he's been doing good.
Alright, 30 Aces finally in core. Equips the Birch Pan. Is it weird that thinking about a burnt pan is making me feel hungry? Because, like, I'm connecting to, like, cooking and making food. And I'm thinking, oh, I can go for an omelet right now. After this match, after, like, we've wrapped up and gone into the next intermission, I'm probably going to go cook myself some dinner.
Alright, yeah, that sounds good.
And I'm not the only one. Reports from chatters are coming in that they're hungry too.
I just ate during the last race. That's why I wasn't commentating.
Yeah, I got myself a drink to take the edge off, but I think I'm going to need something in my stomach.
Oh my gosh, Aces. Getting a 3-turn Whimsalot?
3-turn Whimsalot? I'm not sure if I've even seen that from the top runners. That's rough.
Yeah. You don't see that every day. I'm gonna be honest.
And I'm remembering correctly that this is actually his first match of the tourney, right? I don't think I've seen him go up before.
Aces?
Yeah, Aces.
Yeah, I think this is his first.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think I saw him yesterday. This is definitely a rough start, but I'm hoping that he can kind of bounce back from this and learn from what he's doing here. Maybe this gets the bits of rust off his controller, and we'll have an interesting match with Ash Mikta later on.
I just want to mention that that single that Vinta just got there was so unfortunate because it would have been a 1 triple core, but that single kind of got rid of that triple.
Yeah, if he was going for a record right here, that would be very costly.
That would be devastating, yeah.
Yeah, I have seen runners get a single there, especially a single magic, and they just reset. They don't even play the fight. They just boop.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's just kind of over if you're going for a top time. Because now Vinta is going to need to do an extra grind after Warriors Pass.
Yeah, it would be. It's not going to happen, but it would be kind of amazing if that somehow let 30 Aces close the lead here.
Yeah, it's not really going to change anything because Aces is going to be getting the same thing.
Yeah, and Aces. Vintagix is on Warriors Path already, so he's far into core.
Yeah, this is going to be not the last one, but the second to last encounter.
And this is interesting because it kind of shows you how different it is playing casually versus normal level speedrunning versus being one of the top runners. Because for a normal speedrun, this is a good run Vinta's got, but we were just talking about how suboptimal and unfortunate it is, and how a top runner going for record wouldn't even bother finishing this.
Yeah, it just all depends on, like, the runner's reset tolerance. And of course, since this is a tournament, you can't really reset to that.
Yeah, all you can really do is make a note of it and move on. And this is a good thing about the RNG seeds because you know your opponent's getting the same thing.
But the optimal single to close off core. Wait. Oh, okay, just grinding out to make sure. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I thought I miscounted for a second.
Couldn't he have also checked the save point? It wasn't that many steps removed.
Yeah, you could have checked the save point.
That might have been slightly slower because of the menuing, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I feel like it probably would have, like, evened out.
Yeah, 30 Aces actually stops to heal and save. That's an interesting choice. Probably doesn't want another Undyne incident.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I am not going to rag on him because I know how rough that is and how he must be feeling, but if that had happened to me, it would definitely be in my head the rest of the run, and I would probably be cutting corners and playing conservatively to make sure I don't go down again.
Yeah.
I see nobody's discovered long elevator skip yet. That's a bit unfortunate for Vinta. That's going to cost him some time.
It does exist on the Switch version, but unfortunately we can't really get this mod on the Switch version.
Oh, wow, really? I was just joking. I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
As we go into fans, tell me a bit about it.
So the entire trick is you literally walk into the elevator, and then you walk out, and then you're in New Home.
Oh, that is amazing. I think Shay showed that off at the GDQ Undertale showcase, but I might be misremembering. He did something like that with Long Elevator. Also, what the hell am I talking about going into Sans? He was going into New Home. Duh. This is a really interesting section playing casually, but when you're speedrunning, and this just goes to show how different a world it is, it's kind of tedious. Like, there's nothing you can do except menu and mash and move as fast as possible. You already know everything that's in the area. You don't have any time to explore, take in the atmosphere. So you kind of lose what makes it special.
Yeah, and her was saying, like, last time, New Home and Neutral is really nice because it's a nice big break before Asgore, but for this you still gotta be mashing really fast. As a matter of fact, a lot of people random mash here because it is a little bit more faster in this case than piano mashing.
Clarify the difference between random mashing and piano mashing. I kind of get it from context, but I'm curious what you mean.
So piano mashing is what most people will do throughout the entire run. It's accurate. Basically, you're mashing ZX Enter Shift in that order. So you're mashing at 15 text boxes per second, which is the most you could do normally. However, on some cutscenes like this Flowey one, if you random mash, you could reach upwards to 30 text boxes per second.
So wouldn't that not matter because it can't advance faster than 15?
There's like something interesting about these cutscenes. I don't know what it is. I think if you hit like Z and X on the same frame, I think it like advances the text. So I think that's kind of like why it does that. Yeah, you could skip and advance the text box in the same frame.
That's pretty interesting. I kind of love how casually this is a pretty quick game, but there's so much depth to the speedrun, and there's so many techniques and so many things to know. And we are going into the Sans fight, so let's see how Vintagix adjusts. Oh, and 30 Aces missed frogging .gif. That's gotta hurt. I have seen this fight so many times that as I watch it in silence, the sounds are still playing in my head. Like, I can hear the gas blasters and the sound of the heart being thrown around.
That's
and
awesome. Starting off the fight strong, though. However, does struggle a little bit on that turn. Still looking completely fine.
Yeah, that attack is a bit tough, especially if you're trying to go through it too fast, but this isn't going to hurt him too badly. He could probably die here, and he would still be well ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point a death wouldn't really change the lead unless it's in the last turn or something, but even then, I don't know.
Yeah, that would probably give 30 Aces a chance, but it wouldn't lose Vin to the race.
Yeah, and KJ mentioning in chat.
I mean, this is 10 minutes.
KJ mentioning in chat that Ace's health is not the greatest right now.
Aces seems to have a problem with dodging. Yeah, he's at 15 health. He has an opportunity to heal, and there's nothing that can threaten him until Sans now.
Yeah.
But he's going to want to be careful with that, and I think if I was him, and I was preparing for a match against Ash later tonight, I would be working on my dodging.
Yeah, because just the most important part of these races is just going to be not dying.
Yeah, and Wolfel said something fun with what we've been talking about, casual versus speedrunning. It's crazy to me that literally just a single year ago, I beat Sans for the first time ever, and now I can casually beat him whenever.
Yeah, exactly. Speedrunners can basically just beat Sans on demand.
Yeah, I've even seen them do stunt challenges, like they will fight him at 2 times the speed. Vinta's a good way into the fight now. He's taken a few hits, but he's not doing bad at all.
Yeah, into the second half at 63 HP. That's more than enough. We'll see if he could keep it for the rest of this fight.
The scary thing about Sans, of course, is because there's no iframes, you really only have to get hit once to get really messed up, like if you get stuck in those walls of bones.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also think that's a really easy thing once you've been playing Undertale for a while to get out of. You just have to be expecting it. What could really hurt him is if he goes for that skip, the clipping through the bones.
Yeah, that skip has been giving a lot of people trouble lately. It doesn't save time, but like...
Yeah, that's just a stunt skip, so I don't know why so many people are going for it.
Just to make the last turn a little bit easier, I suppose, but... if you don't get it, it's obviously gonna be scary.
Yeah, like, at his current health, that could kill Vincent. You know, I've never actually beaten Sans.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been able to do it. I mean, I haven't played Genocide in a long time either, but it's fun to me to see how easily speedrunners can handle him because I could never do it.
You should do it sometime. It's fun.
Yeah, I've been thinking about either getting Bad Time Simulator or like a save file that's after the Sans fight and just practicing it for the experience. And so that I can know a bit of what they're going through. Oh, he did the clip!
Yeah, Vinta got it.
The funny thing is, I can't even tell what he did different. That looked like he just went right through the bones. Ooh, he does get clipped by these Gaster Blasters. That won't take too much health away. In fact, he's got the fight won. It's over. But
yeah, that's
that
gonna do it.
Scary. Yeah, this is GG for Vintagix. What time is he looking at here?
I wanna say like 107, 108.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Kara does take a very long time. All right, 30 Aces is about to head into the Sans fight now. Let's see what he does.
By the way, everybody, right after this race, we got another one back to back. Actually, one right after that one as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm commentating on those races, but I think you are, so people can definitely stay tuned.
Yeah, me and Willie will be commentating the final two races of the day.
Hey, I won't mind. Gives me a chance to make some food and kind of turn my brain off and watch a bit.
Yeah, our next races, we got Woofle versus Bubble Cat. And then after that, we have Ash Mikta versus, once again, 30 Aces.
Yeah, and Wolfle was your opponent yesterday, so that was an interesting race. We'll see how well he does against Bubble.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely interesting that I'm going to get to watch and commentate my own group.
Right. 30 Aces is actually doing pretty good on Sans. Maybe some of Undyne's attack patterns were just giving him trouble. Sans is a lot simpler in some ways, especially because the attacks you get are always the same. Oh, maybe I spoke a little too soon. He got clipped pretty good there.
Yeah, taking a little bit of damage should be fine. As long as he doesn't get hit majorly again.
Yeah, at this point, he's so far behind that he's basically just playing this casually, and as a casual Sans fight, this is pretty good. On Vinta's screen, Sans is finally asleep. Took me a second to even notice that. For Gamer Olive, the best point to heal is the break halfway through the fight where Sans tries to spare you.
Yeah, because if you heal like mid-fight, Sans will not actually progress through the fight, so you're gonna have to go through an extra turn. Ace is, however, pretty low on health. We'll see if he heals here in this break. Yeah, he is.
And he does. That's really now or never, really, especially because if you try to heal during the other phases, he just repeats and the fight doesn't advance. So you're losing a lot of time if you heal it at any point after that.
Yeah, if you're gonna heal anywhere, that's the place.
All right, this is going to go on a bit longer. Asgore just got task scored. Very good on Vintagix's part.
Yeah, just gonna be kind of a few cutscenes and then Vinta will be done and we'll be taking this match.
This makes me interested to see how well it would go if he and Ash get a rematch, because he's clearly got strong stuff to show off.
Yeah, that's true. Oh.
Something happened there. Did someone drop the stream or something?
Willie just joined for a sec. Willie joined the VC.
Interesting news in the chat. Ash Mike is pretty confident he would lose if he faced Vinta again.
I don't know. I feel like they're really close in skill, to be honest.
I thought he had a pretty comfortable lead last time, but this is really a thing where anything can happen. "30 Aces on the final attack now. I'm not sure if I believe that, Ash, that he's better than you at Deltarune. I mean, you have the record in almost every category, and where you don't, you're like second or third place. Too late, Willie. We already put it in the commentary. It's canon now.
This mod is not public, yeah.
Yeah, it's not public. It's for the tournament. The idea is that each match has its own RNG seed, so the two players have the exact same encounters.
Vinta finishing.
Choosing do not. That's interesting. I mean, it doesn't matter, but that is slower.
Yeah, just a little meme strat, I suppose.
Yeah, and at this rate, 30 Aces is probably going to get like a 110 or a 112 or something.
So Vinta is going to be taking the win over Aces.
Yeah, like, we might as well let 30 Aces finish, of course, but obviously this race was no longer in doubt once Aces died to Undyne. If he hadn't done that, something could have happened here, but unfortunately that's the way it goes.
Yeah, it happens. Gonna let Aces finish this one out, and then we're gonna go to a quick little intermission before our next race.
Yeah, we're actually running over on time a little. We'll see how well we can adjust that. It's only going to be like 10 or 20 minutes difference. I don't think anyone's going to mind too bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm not in any rush. I'm just noting that we're already cutting into what the next match was supposed to be. All right, just waiting for Sans to fall asleep.
This is gonna make the 7:27 race start late. Yay!
Meme denied.
It's fine. We'll just cut off the other race early so we could start that one at 7:27.
Oh, wow, some feuding going on in the tournament. Beating Sans at all is a bit of an accomplishment. You speedrunners make him look easy, but he's not.
Yeah, it's really not an easy fight. I mean, this is a boss that is known for being incredibly difficult.
Yeah, someone yesterday was saying that, like, this started a trend in RPGs of, like, the kind of comedy character turns out to be the secret boss who's incredibly strong, just off the strength of how unexpected and difficult this encounter is.
Let's go. Thank you, Willie. We're unfortunately
Well,
not. Oh, sorry.
the good news is 30 Aces is guaranteed a task score here.
Let's go. Yeah, unfortunately, since we're running behind time, then we're not going to be able to get these runners in for interviews.
Yeah, that is a shame. I was definitely looking forward to picking their brains a bit, but well played to both of them, and congratulations on the win to Vintagix, getting some nice vindication for his match at the start of the tournament.
Yeah, this is going to put him at currently second place in the group, I believe, at 1-1.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. And personally, I'd be interested in seeing him run this category more often and maybe even chase the record. I think that he could get a pretty high ranking. And 30 Aces is coming on to Kara now. I mean, I have to give him props for getting up and finishing it out. That was really rough. And, he did it. Here he is. He beat Genocide.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to give props for being able to finish the run after a big mistake like that. You wouldn't see many people finish it out.
Yeah, I'm reminded of that run at SGDQ where the guy game overed and he had forgotten to save or something. So he was looking at a complete reset. And he got back up and went through it and just did it again.
Oh yeah,
That
I
was
saw
very
that.
admirable. And it's the same spirit here with 30 Aces.
Yeah, definitely. You always love to see a good rebound.
This speech is so long, though.
I know. This is
Casually, it's great, but oh my god.
almost at the end though. But like in a speed run, it just feels so agonizingly long, especially if it's like cutting it close to a PB.
Yeah, because technically you'll lose the PB or record to this because time isn't time until the final input, which is this choicer right here.
Yeah, and that's gonna be it. A 1:12:23 finishing time from Aces.
GG Aces, please do not become the Joker. Just try again. Do better in the run later on.
All right, well that's gonna be it for this match. Coming up right now, actually, as soon as I finish cropping all the streams and stuff, we'll be having Wolfo D versus Bubblecat. So stay tuned, everybody, and enjoy this quick little intermission.
That's also my cue to get out of here so that there's room for our commentators for the next match. Thank you very much for having me, and very good games for everyone involved. I look forward to seeing the rest of the tournament.